Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Today the the dollar rate went up in the Pakistani market, and then it was controlled artificially to keep the corrupt government in place, while the dollar price that hit, I think, 110 should have gone much higher, but again, it was, like I said, artificially controlled. We need to think as to why are these things happening around the world. Are the leaders fools? Or there's a conspiracy? Sudden move for making Jerusalem a capital which only the United States have recognized, creating turmoil and hate and anger in the Muslim world, as Jerusalem is not only belongs to the Muslims, it also belongs to the Christian community of the believers of Jesus Christ, and is also important to the Jews, the followers of Moses. It's a city that has a very, very deep-rooted history. A lot of wars has been seen on that piece of land. And after World War II, thanks to the British Kingdom, the British Empire, which was falling, was on a nosedive, a land of Israel was carved out of Palestine for the Jews in return for the finance given both to the Germans and the Allied forces. A reward was given to them because the British Empire and the United States, so the Allied forces, did not have enough money to pay them back. So in return, a land was given to them, and this is all history. Maybe I might be wrong here and there, but it's history. Are these things intentional, or is it with some conspiracy? Because as the Bible has predicted, that Jerusalem will be made a capital for the land of Bani Israel, the children of Israel. There is predictions in the Quran also, and they're all leading to the end of times, the Armageddon that we're talking about. Where will the world peace be? Are we heading for a nuclear war? Or as they say, World War III? As far as I'm concerned, World War III started when Kuwait and Iraq war took place, because that was the first step of mobilization of troops to the Middle East. I mean, these are all dots connecting together. There's nothing, one needs to just study the dots, connect them. And then 9/11 took place, where again the theories are that it was an inside job. Senate hearing committee also, there people also disclosed a lot of things which were kept quiet and hush-hushed, and thanks to the media. The theory of Al-Qaeda doing the job is still on, and the Muslim media and the Pakistani media are yik-yak on that same theory, while the other side is not being heard, which were again authentic because they were from US Senate committee, and a lot of independent research were done. Even the architects of the Twin Tower, they came and spoke a lot. But we are all ignoring it because the major media is not talking about it. So that was a start of Third World War, a step. And then it led on to Afghanistan, and then to Iraq, to Syria, Libya, Yemen, a lot of other places. Saudi Arabia was taken over during the Kuwait-Iraq War. And of course, the king is there as a king. He has to take permission from the White House to use the toilet paper also, if I'm not wrong. But he's the king, a figurehead. And now we've got another king. Don't want to say much about him, because we all know what he's doing and how he's doing and where he's leading his country to. And Saudi Arabia being a custodian of a holy land and the holy mosque is being looked up to. But I don't know whether they are being looked up to now or not, but that was the case. So right now the whole world is into pieces, divided, and the war is on. The war is for oil, for wealth, for land, and of course India will not be far behind because it has a lot of gold. Tons and tons and tons of gold. So, Maharaj, Hindustani Bhaiyo, you're not going to be far behind. So, where are we going? Something that we all need to think about. And if we just think a little bit, we will realize what our future is, present and the future of our coming generation. This is something that we need to think about very seriously. And the repercussion is going to be very bad, from what I see, from what I understand as a political science student. And everybody will suffer, except for the corporate world. And in the end, Israel will also suffer. But before Israel being suffering, or come to suffer, Europe and United States will suffer much more than they can conceive. This, I'm talking about pure predictions, knowledge. No forecast, no vision, no calculation, no astrology, no astronomy. A pure vision, calculations of mind as to where we are heading, keeping our history of World War I, II, and the recent history. Now we've got a bunch of assholes running the country. Major countries are being run by assholes. And the people are big as assholes because they're not realizing it, or if they're realizing it, they're too scared to talk about it. So humanity as a whole has to start thinking as to why there was no hate 20 years back between the Muslims and the Christian. There was a hate between communism and capitalism. Then came hate of Russia and capitalism. Again, socialism and capitalism. And then after that, thanks to Pakistan, who broke Russia, which America could not. They didn't have the guts and the capacity to do it. They used Pakistan, and they raised the Mujahideen forces by brainwashing, doctrine, all that jazz majaz, and helped break Russia. Now, the United States is the only superpower which is nearly bankrupt. What's going to happen? There's something that we need to think about very seriously if we want to maintain our lifestyle, our community, our peace of mind, our earth as it is, and make it better, or let the asshole do it. I don't want to use the word. You get my point. So everybody, have a nice weekend. Think about it very seriously. Where are we heading? Every single nation will be heard. They will bleed badly. Have a good weekend. Be safe. Drive safe. And don't be naughty. Take care. Bye.